Good afternoon, fellow Americans. Today, I got a process speech. I'm doing mine on how to take your wheel off and put it back on. The reasons why you're going to need to take your wheel off and put it back on is if you're going to check anything behind the wheel, such as the brakes, the suspension, CV axles, lower control arms, upper control arms, anything behind the wheel. Now, to do this, the steps you're going to, or the tools you're going to need are a wheel on a truck or car, some kind of wrench or something to get it off. I'm going to use an impact today, and you're going to need a socket. Now, in my case, it's a 7/8, and you always want to use a deep well, so you can reach down in there. You're going to need a jack and a jack stand, so you can safely raise the vehicle up. And that's pretty much it, folks. Alright, now the first step is to jack up your vehicle. After you get the vehicle jacked up, you're going to want to slide the jack stand underneath it, so if it falls, something catches it. Let's get started. Now that you got the jack jacked up and jack stand underneath it, you're going to want to take the wheel cover and the wheel off. To do this, you just pretty much loosen these. Use your socket. I kind of pre-loosen them because I can never get these off for some reason. You're going to want to make sure to just take them off. Alright, once you get that off, you have 6 lug nuts right here. Now, you're always going to want to take them off in a star pattern and put them on in a star pattern. If you don't, you could risk warping the rim, and that is never good. Now, we're going to make sure your thing's on reverse and pull them out. That's enough. You can go to stop the video. After you get them off, you're just going to take them off the rest of the way with your hands. Put them in the wheel cover so you don't lose them. And take the wheel off. This is how I do it. I just pick up on it, and boom, she's off. Now this is the beautiful undercarriage of what we call old Fred. Purdy, I know. Alright, now after you have all that off and you do what you want to do back behind the wheel, now it's time to put it back on. This is pretty much exactly the same as before, it's just opposite, reverse, or whatever you thought. Now you're going to pick up the wheel, you're going to skid it closer. You're just going to kind of pick it up and put it on there. Now you're going to get your lug nut and just hand tighten the top one on and the bottom, so it'll hold the wheel in place when you're messing with it. Now to put the rest of them on, you do the same, and we're going to lower the jack to where the wheel will be on the ground so it won't like fall off when you're trying to tighten it or something, for safety. Whoever cares about safety, somebody out there does. If I can get this one on there. Alright, see you later. Now that we got the lug nuts hand tightened on, we're going to lower the jack so the wheel will be on the ground. Now, the jack and the jack stand, you're going to probably have to jack it up a bit more to get it off the jack stand. And once you have that done, it slides out, and your jack, you're just going to want to kind of slowly turn it down and everything. There she goes. Now before you're on the road, you're going to have the final step, which is tightening the lug nuts up and putting your cover back on. Now, when you tighten up the lug nuts, be sure you do it in a star pattern. As before, you'll warp them if you don't, or have a chance of warping them. So, just get it off there. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to put the wheel cover back on. So if you ever needed to get behind the wheel or just want to change your wheels, this was a simple, easy, step-by-step video on how to do this. To review the steps, first you're going to want to get your vehicle, like this Purdy beast right here. You're going to jack it up with the jack, put a jack stand underneath there so it's safe. You're going to want to take the lug nuts off. I'm using impact. Now if you weren't using impact, I forgot to mention this, you'll want to leave the tire on the ground. So like if you're using like a wrench or a four-way, you're going to want to leave it on the ground so the tire won't spin while you're doing it. But in impact, the way they're designed, they'll do it and you can have it off. Anyway, you take the lug nuts off, you pull the tire off, or wheel. And to put it back on, you just easily put it back on, tighten up your lug nuts, hand tighten them, and then you're going to lower the jack with the tire on the ground. You're going to use your impact and star pattern, and then you're going to throw this wheel cover back on, and that's about it. You should be on the road. Tire's good, the wheels are good. You did whatever you want to do underneath there. So good night, fellow bald eagles.